everyone's wondering where we are. Well, we are here.
Hey, 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 welcome everyone to a very special episode of the Tim and Jim Show. Like it says up here and over there. I'm Tim Sohn over here with Sohn Social Media Solutions, hanging out with the bears and the turkeys and the Mr. Jim Fuse over here. And we're very excited for the show today.
Yes.
So Jim Fuse, how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing great. I mean, it's almost 2022, and I know some people can't wait, right? Because as bad as some people thought 2020 was, for some people, they're like, "Oh my gosh, what's happened with 2021?" So now they're like, "Can we just forget this decade, maybe?"
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen, but I'm excited for this hour because we have a very special show lined up for today, don't we, Mr. Jim Fuse?
We do. We have some of our previous guests that are also some of our favorite people in the world that
I
are
also
going
like
to
to call
join
them
us.
victims or
Victims,
offenders.
offenders.
Yes.
And we're going to hear what they think is going to happen in 2022. And
Yes.
but before we bring on our first guest / victim, as you like to say, Tim, what's your prediction for 2022?
Ooh, good question. Good question. So, Jim, I think that live streaming is going to continue to explode on many platforms. I spend most of my time personally on LinkedIn right now, and they have opened up the platform to many more creators now. So there are many more LinkedIn live shows, many more than I have time to watch. But that is a good thing because many more people are becoming more active on the platform, especially with the live show feature, which is amazing. So I think you're going to see some creators are going to fall off the platform because they're going to experience burnout from going live, especially ones that don't have a strategy for their show. But I think you're also going to see at the same time new creators coming on. And I think it's especially going to be important to have a strategy for your show, right? You want to, whatever your goal is for your show, whether it's to generate new business, whatever it is, to have a strategy and figure out how is your show going to be different than other shows, right? Are you going to provide a lot of value? Are you going to be entertaining? Is it personality driven? Whatever it's going to be, like how are you going to stand out from the plethora of shows that are coming out every day now on LinkedIn? And so I also think that it's important to think from the perspective of self-care and live streaming, because as you know, Jim, it can take so much time to put together a live show, from finding the guests to promoting the show to showing up on the show to having the conversation to repurposing the show, if you do all those things and beyond, right? So thinking about how to build relationships with people in your audience, but then also how can you incorporate automation in the process as well? So using tools like Calendly or Lately or different tools like Descript to repurpose your shows and things like that. So really finding a balance between automation, but also building relationships with people through direct messages and things like that, I think is going to be really important in 2022. Thank you, Mr. Jim.
Yeah. And my prediction is that we're going to see some new tools when it comes to live streaming. I know our first guest is working on one that I won't go into details with, but I think the ability for us to become more creative as live streamers is going to happen not only with, if you want to call it the software, but the tech, as well as where you can live stream. Just recently became aware of a product called Speedify, which will allow you to kind of like cobble together your different devices to boost your speed. Because how many times have we seen people in remote locations having trouble with their internet? And so I think those are some of the things that are really going to be game changers, because as much as we see, like, sometimes on the news where people have taken a cell phone video and shared it, well, imagine being able to do that live and knowing that that stuff is, like, happening in real time could become very powerful from a storytelling perspective, and you can see how I'm kinda teasing our first guest slash victim, and, so those are the things
Yes.
I think are gonna happen, as well as with live selling. As you know, I'm on Amazon. I think that's just gonna
Yes.
continue to grow, and it'll be interesting to see where it grows and who are the big people. But enough about
Yeah.
you and me, Tim, and our
Wait, but
predictions.
first we should give a shout out to you, Jim, and Chris Stone for your amazing show, Dealcasters
Well,
Live.
thank
We
you.
should
Thank
we
you.
should shout
And
you guys out and the
and Chris
amazing work you
Stone
do over there.
created that amazing intro video that we had, but guess what? Chris Stone is here
Yes.
today as well,
Ooh.
and, but I'm excited because 'cause we've got some very smart people. I know they're smarter than me, 'cause I was smart enough to be able to get them to come on the show. It was along with you, and so let's not, waste any more time, and so our first guest is none other than the story catcher himself, and he's catching some storysies, it looks like, and that is our good friend, Chad
Looks like he's
Illa
catching some
Peterson.
Z's.
He's catching
Well,
some Z's right now.
I wonder if he snores.
I don't know. Chad, how are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I hit the snooze button. What's going on, guys?
It's good to see you.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. I love how part of my name title is sticking
I
out of the
know.
edge there.
I'm gonna
Sorry
get rid
about
of
that.
your name title. That's all
That's
right.
all right. I put too much. My date of birth, social security number, and stuff is under there. So just leave it covered. It's probably safer. So, but anyway, hey, welcome. And if you are enjoying my stuffed animal background, it's because we are in Orlando visiting our son, his girlfriend, and he's a live streamer. But this is his studio in progress, I guess. But he's got a nice little setup he's letting me use while we're here. So no, the stuffed animals aren't mine.
Oh, that's what you always say, Chad, but I know better.
Are you sure about that,
You're
Chad?
like, but they're in every
don't
show
know.
you do, Chad. I would.
right.
You visit him a lot.
So Chad, you actually have a show at the top of the hour on
do.
another network, not on the Tim and Jim network. But tell us, what do you think is going to happen in a couple of days here when we go past midnight and
In a couple of
go into
2 days from now, everything will change. He was a lonely live streamer looking for love. Yeah, I think, who knows, right? We do these predictions all the time. I don't know that I've ever gone back to look and see if, like we were talking earlier, have we gone back to see if we were right? We've just kind of gone with the flow. But here's what I think we will see. You mentioned some new tools, things will come out. I think people, the creators want to be more creative. They want to have a chance to make their shows more about, who they are visually. So I think you're going to see the ability to customize your live streams more. We're actually going to talk about that, like you said, on the show coming up at the top of the hour, right after this show on wave.video on the channel there, the show Live Better. Actually, Ross Brand is going to be joining us. That was a little surprise we just publicized.
That's amazing. He was our guest on our 100th episode here on the Tim and Jim show. So we'll have to catch that immediately after the show.
Immediately after. We would never try to go up against this show because that would just be, you guys are just killing it in the ratings. I've seen the Nielsen book and it's outstanding. But, look, I think what we're going to find is that some of us who think we're doing a great job, we're live streaming, we're going to have to switch things up. You mentioned stories. I think there's going to be a bigger story component. People want to hear about people. They want to relate to people. They don't want to just tune into a live stream to get information that they can Google. And so we're going to have to change things up and start sharing stories and also doing it in a way that allows the audience to engage more. I know that we're doing a lot of repurposing and we're turning things into podcasts. And so one of the things that happens is, so we avoid some of the comments and bringing them up on screen because when we're going to turn it into a podcast, it's hard to edit later. But it takes away from the thing that makes live fun. and that is being able to engage as a guest. So I think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see more people just bringing random guests in out of nowhere. Oh, so-and-so wants to come into the show. Hey, let's bring them in, kind of like the old radio shows. Maybe it'll be a call-in. Maybe they'll be on video. But I think you're going to see more audio coming in from the guests and not just comments. That'll make it more engaging, because that's what has to happen, right? If you're going to tune into something live, you either want to be there because you want to participate in the moment, or because it's breaking news or a sporting event and you don't want spoilers at the end. And so I think that's what you're going to see. You're going to see that, and then also some of the ability to get more creative with layouts and the design here. Yeah, breaking news. Well done. Exactly. This just in. Tim Sohn lives with bears.
And turkeys.
Yes.
And turkeys and
Can't leave the turkeys out.
all the wildlife. He's a modern day Davy Crockett meets Daniel Boone.
Anyway,
look at those rugged looks. Doesn't he just look like an outdoorsman? But that's what I think. Creatives are going to want to get more creative, and we're going to figure out how to become more engaging. Otherwise, people are going to just say, you know what, I can watch this later. And not that there's anything wrong with watching it later, but if they're just going to watch it later, then just record it and upload it, you know? So that's what I think. We're going to become much more about the people, and we're going to build relationships through the live stream, each episode. So
excellent. And speaking of someone that's creative and engaging with audio as well as video, our next guest is none other than the incredible Judy Fox, Fox Rocks. Judy, you heard those words of wisdom from Chad, if you want to call it that. How are you doing, Judy?
Good. Nice segue.
I'm working on that whole segue thing. It reminds me of the thing.
The ears to make sure I was engaging.
I had to make sure. Yeah.
And my dog finally decides to join me.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's the beauty of live streaming, right? We have a special guest,
yes.
Judy's dog. And
Yeah.
what's your dog's name?
Kelter. Do you need to see him? Let's see. I was going to try and distract him.
There's Kelter. Hey, Kelter.
Kelter.
Nice
Hi, Kelter.
Nice. I'm giving him the lid to my Starbucks.
Oh.
There, now he's happy.
There you go.
Dogs are great.
Yes. So, Judy, you've been doing a lot of stuff in the audio space, especially this year. So I'm very curious to see what you think is in store for 2022.
I think more audio only rooms are going to come out on different platforms in a way that's more accessible, and kind of what Chad was saying about, we can repurpose them. We can use them. I just looked up, what is that website called? Depict or something? I'd never heard of it. So I was like Googling while you guys were talking. Basically, I think I love that with Clubhouse, and a lot of people don't know this, that when you do a Clubhouse room now, you can grab the final recording and repurpose it now. It's recorded, and a replay link is available for people to listen to. And they can fast forward to the speakers they want to hear. Not just fast forward the listening experience, but fast forward to the particular speaker you wanted to listen to, which I think could come across all social media for live streaming, for anything that you're watching. If you're watching the replay, that is so smart to fast forward to the particular speaker, not just, okay, I think that's cool.
Yep.
And
that's Chad. Skip.
Well, there you go. No, they want to fast forward. Chad. Okay. The next prediction, I guess, is of course on LinkedIn. Creator mode, with all of that rolling out, I'm basically expecting LinkedIn to roll out a Reels / TikTok short form video app. And we know this because LinkedIn purchased a company called Jump Rope, and Jump Rope app is literally TikTok. It is the same type of platform. They purchased the whole team, CEO, all the people. LinkedIn was like, we're buying you, and we're going to put you on our platform. So they discontinued LinkedIn stories, and they're going to be starting to roll out LinkedIn. I don't know what to call it. LinkedIn short form video. That's so LinkedIn to be so specific. But it is supposed to be that kind of how-to short story, 1 to 2, 3-minute format, and then LinkedIn. Okay, sorry. It's just so funny to think about what LinkedIn could call that. And then
Like
the
CEO
Maybe,
dance
maybe you should
challenge.
create a poll and have some.
what do you think LinkedIn will call the short form video app? That would be a pretty funny poll.
Yes, I like that idea. I think you should do that, Judy, because
And
I'll give you my comments then. But you bring up an interesting. I mean, because you are seeing a lot more of this audio stuff. Do you think though, is it? I don't want to call it oversaturation, but I also think just like Wave is getting ready to do, like Chad is talking about, all these platforms are pushing the other audio only people to do more to make things better. I think Twitter Spaces has really pushed Clubhouse, right? Because they've already started doing the recording. I mean, do you think this is something that people are going to say, I don't even know where I should go audio only because it's almost overwhelming?
yes, I can definitely see that. I've had my own moments of being like, okay, I haven't opened up my own Twitter space. I go into those rooms, but what I find really powerful and what I want to impart on everybody is stop thinking about going into these and letting the experience be whatever you go into. Create your own show. I mean, that's really what we're talking about here. And that, confirms what everyone else before me has already said. The power of having your own show is how you should be thinking about all these platforms. I've held a show on Clubhouse every single Wednesday, 4 p.m. consistently for over 50 weeks at this point, because it has been since a whole year, because it's 52 weeks in a year. So just FYI. I know Chad's surprised. But I'm really proud of myself. It's the most consistent show I've ever run. And I didn't really brag about it. I didn't say anything. I just was like, I'm just always on Clubhouse, 4 p.m. And it's like the Judy Fox hour. And
Is it today?
it's today. Yeah. Every
Wow.
single Wednesday.
I think I'm going to try to join today. So
Yeah, I should advertise it more.
I finally got access to Clubhouse when people stopped talking about Clubhouse.
I think that's what happened, Chad. You did.
But to me, Clubhouse is less about going on and scrolling the news feed. If you find yourself scrolling the news feed on any social media site in 2022, rethink your process and what's happening and how can you be the show. And that's my people are like, I don't know, when did I last open Clubhouse? But it's how you use it. Clubhouse has brought me so much business. I think at some point I've booked over 200 calls, sales calls, because of Clubhouse.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, Judy, that is incredible. So, Tim, would you like to bring on our next predictor?
Our next predictor is Julie Riley of StreamYard.
What's
Hey,
going
Julie.
on? How are you guys?
We are
Awesome.
great. How are you?
Good. Yeah,
So
ready
what
for
is your prediction for 2022?
I think we're going to see more video than what we've already been seeing. We're seeing more platforms coming up. We're seeing more video software. We're seeing just more of video everywhere and more options for it. So I don't think that's going away anytime soon. We've been saying that really since it kind of first came on, was that video is here to stay. But now that we've gone through almost 2 years of this alternate reality of a world that we're living in, I think it's one of those where these places that have been having events that have been all in person, and they might send you some recordings, they're going to really start doing more of the hybrid approach. They're going to try to get back into person as much as they can, but they're going, look, we know that people are not going to either be able to travel or are willing to go to these events. And so they're going to have to start to transition and start to add in more video options for these, and not just, hey, you can buy a ticket that's going to get you a recording that will send to you 2 weeks after the event when everybody's already tweeted about it, talked about it, and it's dead news at that point. They want to be there feeling like they're a part of it and in person. And so that's going to become the biggest thing that they can do, is start adding in more of these live video options for events and really start to keep that transition going. So that's really where I see that going. If we don't, you're going to be lost. People are not going to show up to your event, and your event's going to die.
That's so true. And StreamYard was acquired by Hopin, right? So you guys are very active in that space now, right?
We are. StreamYard started putting on events last year that were 100% virtual events. Maybe in the future we'll look at doing a hybrid in-person virtual approach, but for right now we're sticking to just the virtual. But we're starting to explore that space more. And what I love about it is Hopin is still standalone. StreamYard is inside of Hopin, but Hopin isn't inside of StreamYard. So it still has allowed StreamYard to be a standalone video live stream tool. But we're going to start seeing some more things developing within that space as well. Some more creative options and able to really kind of piggyback and say, okay, I am just going live, or I'm doing a video and going live, or I have these other things I need to pull in together, and they're all going to work seamlessly together. And I like it.
That is awesome. I think, yeah, and I think too, I've had the chance to work behind the scenes with some of the integration of what you guys are doing. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, Julie, because I know you guys did have a poll, but it looks like you guys are also looking to get more into like the Zoom arena to help people maybe use this tool for meetings and make things more engaging. Because I think that's, to me, one of the things I don't like about Zoom is it's very limited in what you can do, out of the box, so to speak.
Yeah, we'll just say there are a lot of amazing things happening behind the scenes. Some big things in development, from the meeting space, the event space, the creative space. So we're working on all kinds of fun things that are quickly coming, and that was one of the things that was really great. I've been through acquisitions and mergers before, and when it first was announced, we're all sitting in our seats going, "Uh-oh. Oh gosh," but this one has been so phenomenal and has really allowed the StreamYard team to grow and bring on more developers and more engineers that are developing the tools faster and getting more out to our users like you guys.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I hope some of your stuff does come true, because I know that'll be good for what you guys are doing and for what we as the uh, ones that need that experience are looking for as well. Now, will you be in San Diego in March,
I
Julie?
will be. The
Okay.
StreamYard team will be out there. We're super excited. We're going to have a booth. We're bringing a bunch of us this time.
Oh,
So
awesome.
Yay.
yeah, we're
Very,
going to
very
come,
cool.
come visit us.
We will.
Well,
And now,
definitely.
one of our favorite people, Marissa Callie, who she likes us so much, Tim, that she's actually a short drive away now from me, and she's closer to you. But and she
Really?
really wanted to see the Mets, so she's going to come to Atlanta to watch her Mets play as well. So Marissa, it's great to
Is this
see
your
you.
2022 prediction?
That's my prediction.
I
Yeah.
guess you're here to hear first. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. We'll figure it out. Yes, I'm a Mets fan, Chris. Sad to say, but I know how to pick sports teams, so
Well, I do like your new manager. I will say I'm a Buck Showalter
Mhm.
fan. He was the Orioles manager, and I was sad that they got rid of him. So there you go, Tim. There's my sports segue for today's episode.
There we go. We always have to have a sports segment of the Tim and Jim show. So there
Yeah.
you go.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, so my prediction, it's more around, I know we're hearing a lot about creativity, storytelling, shows in particular. For me personally, I do a lot of event-based content. So it's either, one-off or a series or something like that. It's not a everyday weekly show, similar to like maybe what Judy does. And I'm behind the scenes creating and helping produce these events. But I think what we're going to see is kind of what Julie said, more video related to these events, not just waiting for that event to happen. So what do I mean by that? Something like pre-recorded content. Luckily now we can do that with StreamYard and other tools. I know there's other platforms that are going to be releasing these types of features. but also related to like leading up to, and our good friend May King creates FOMO, like creating FOMO around events. So doing little snap interviews or maybe a live reaction videos. So they're all going to be live content, but not necessarily related to a live show. It's more so live events and live experiences in a way that we can connect and build relationships, kind of like Chad mentioned too. I believe that that's going to be the way of the future. And it's not just going to be something you can Google, right? You're going to have to be present for that specific event or that occasion because you can do that on different social media platforms. You can scroll and be part of the conversation, but I think it's definitely going to be important to have some type of engaging video in 2022, especially for, you know, brands that are not very used to marketing. I think they're going to need to step out from behind the curtain and really, you know, show up because I think it's easy for us as marketers to do it because we've been doing, you know, short video stories. We've been doing all that video for years. But now you're going to have to step out of that and step out of your comfort zone. So I think that's my 2022 prediction for this coming year.
Step out of your comfort zone. That, you know, that is such a powerful statement. And I think all of us that are on here had to step out of our comfort zone to get to the point where we're able to do things like this. So we didn't all start like this, folks that are watching, that maybe you're thinking about it. So don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. I love that, Marissa. And so Tim, I'm going to actually highlight you because you wanted to talk about comments.
Hey. Yes, I wanted to thank everyone who is here in the comments. DJ is here from Silver Fox Talks. Thanks for being here, DJ. Roslyn Krieger is here. Thanks for being here, Roslyn. John Neve is here. Thank you, John. Marissa was here in the comments before we even got started. She was like, let's go. She was ready. She is excited. Maria Rouse is in the house. Thanks for being here, Maria. Chris Stone. So many amazing people here. Judy Fox. So excited you are here. Russ Hedge. He's on YouTube. That is exciting. So thank you all for being here. Let us know if you have, let us know in the comments, what is your prediction for 2022? We want this to be a conversation with you. We want to know what is your prediction as well. So Jim, who is our next amazing guest here on the show with their prediction for 2022?
It is none other than Kendra Ramirez. And I don't know, here's something going on your end, Kendra. Hopefully you can hear us okay.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me fine?
There we go. That's better. Yes.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. This is so fun, and I'm loving what everyone is sharing. And I hate that Chad had to leave because I was going to let him know I was glad that I made his Twitter cut. So I love these conversations. And my audience, I own a digital agency, and so my audience is B2B. So I have a little different slant in regards to these predictions because a lot of my audience is still catching up. They're still in the basics. And so sometimes trends, we want to keep an eye on them, but we also have to make sure that we're implementing a really solid foundation. And our biggest thing that we've been pushing our clients is recruitment marketing. We have to be able to be better about attracting talent and retaining talent. I actually grew up in recruiting before marketing, and so I have a heart for that. And we've been able to do the storytelling of why to work in some of these companies and allowing employees to share what they were growing up and what they wanted to be and why they went into accounting or why they became a CNC machinist. And the stories that are coming from that has been really, really successful because a lot of the B2B organizations, sometimes you can't even find their career page. Sometimes you can't even find, you may see job descriptions, but no, like, why should I work there? What's so special about the organization? And so we've had a lot of success with that. And then the retention piece, right? You've tried so hard to gain that candidate. And then what are you doing from onboarding? Because I don't know about you guys, but I've been in situations previously owning my own business where I was literally just handed a laptop and say, all right, welcome aboard. And that was it. And I really had to go myself and seek out, what the company's about and meeting team members. And so really looking at that life cycle. And then the retention, of that, right? And the retention of our clients. So as we're seeking candidates and also seeking clients, retention strategy for those clients, once we get them, you work so hard to get them. What are you doing to make sure that they have a VIP experience in working with your organization? So I think it's really just continuing to back to basics and leaning into those stories of what's really working and making sure that we're bringing team members along on the mission as well.
That is awesome. I think too, are you still doing your reset events?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Still doing those and connecting with, mindset coaches.
And you've got 2 books coming out soon as well.
I do. Thank you. Yes, we're super excited. Marketing Fusion will be out on January 28th, and it is a marketing collective. So myself and some other amazing marketing folks, and that's for small business, B2B small business. And then Microshift will be out February 18th, and that is another collective, and it's all mindset coaches. So I so appreciate you mentioning that.
Well, and you guys spelled fusion wrong. There's no H in it.
Right.
Yeah, but thank you, Kendra, and we wish you all the luck in 2022, and congratulations on your books and everything else. And now it's time for our next guest, my co-host on Dealcasters, and also the one who made our intro video. So if you need a good sizzle reel, he's your guy, and that is Chris Stone. Chris Stone, how are you doing?
What's going on, Tim and Jim? Thank you for inviting me and my crystal ball for your predictions. You guys have a fantastic show. What's awesome about this is what a great year you guys have had. And it's the testament is all of the fantastic guests besides me that are on the show. I realize you're contractually obligated to have me on here because I created that goofy video that starts out your show. But I am truly honored. You guys should see who's backstage. This is amazing. So stay tuned because there's some great stuff coming. So is it time for me to rub the crystal ball and give you a prediction?
Why not?
It is.
Or do you have any other questions? Okay. Of course, mine's going to have to do with live selling. And so I think a lot of people are looking at Amazon. Obviously, they've been doing it now for, well over, a couple of years. And already we're seeing YouTube is dipping their toe into the water. They're tapping these major influencers. And they, it was like a little bit of a soft launch of what they did. Twitter's doing it. And I think the difference between what they're doing is they don't have a supply chain, right? So they have to work with a Walmart, or they have to work with someone who can fulfill the products that people are buying. But I think we should all look at that and say, you know what? It's only a matter of time before somebody like a Target or somebody like a Costco or Walmart will eventually have live sellers on their platform. And a lot of people right now, they're focused on what, they do, which may be YouTube, maybe LinkedIn, maybe whatever. And that's awesome. But they want to maybe try live selling. I don't think you wait until these things come out. I think because what we found out, Jim, you and I, is especially on Amazon in the early days, they were approving influencers. They were approving some micro and even nano influencers to go live on their platform. And a lot of these people have not even gone live. So if you're watching right now and you've gone live and you're hitting that button and you're doing what all of us are doing, right now on your screen that you probably think you could do better, which is awesome. You should start right now. Start doing what you do. And if it's on YouTube, if it's on LinkedIn, start talking about products, start experimenting and doing what you do, get affiliate links, start doing that kind of stuff, because affiliate revenue is not going anywhere. It's something that people can have a full-time, call it full-time, get full-time revenue from doing. And instead of waiting until TikTok opens live selling, actually, that does fulfillment like Amazon, start now. Put the reps in now. Start firing it up, and really start getting used to being on camera, selling things, and having sometimes be the product be the star of your show.
Wow. Wow, I like that. And I think too, right? It's that whole, Chris, you and I have dealt with it. It's kind of that mix of where you don't want to be QVC, but you also want to make sure you're adding value. It's quite the challenge.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that they have to change what they're doing now in order to, like, go into Amazon or go into whatever that is. You don't have to do that. And a lot of these larger platforms, I think they'll maybe look at your TikTok following, look at your YouTube subscribers, look at those things, and that may be like a quick, easy thing. But I think what we've learned from Amazon is when they start doing that, they realize they may not be the best live sellers. So if you can start doing that now, putting out that social proof of selling things online, you're going to have a better chance of being approved to be on these platforms, and really start to not just see the revenue for what you're doing, but perhaps enhance your existing brand if that's something else in terms of products and services.
Awesome. Any thoughts, Tim, before we bring our next guest? Is pretty amazing as well. So if you have anything for Chris and his crystal ball, now's your chance.
This is my pattern interrupt for you guys. Look at all the viewership just going up with the pattern interrupt.
Oh, I think you muted yourself.
And I am
Tim.
on mute the entire time while I'm talking right now. So
It's the turkeys. It's that thing. What do you call? What's underneath the turkey, Tim? What is that called?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Put it in
Let
the
us
chat.
know in the comments if you know what that thing is under. Mitch Jackson, do you know under the turkey, like under its neck? Do you know
Mitch
what that's
Jackson knows
called?
everything.
Yeah. It's called a plate. That's what it's called.
A plate.
That's right. I put my turkey meat on a plate on Thanksgiving. And it's game on.
The quick-witted Mitch Jackson. I love it.
Good to see you, Chris.
Mitch,
you,
it's great to see you. And
welcome.
so
Am I
good.
up? Am
You're
I up?
up. You are
Oh,
up.
okay. Nice transition. I love that. It's good to see everybody. Good morning from California. It's nice and early, getting ready for a run. I love the comments about and the theme about, and first of all, Jim and Tim, good to see you. The theme
You as
about
well.
taking risk, right? Doing something different, storytelling as a trial lawyer. That's what it's all about. And just to give context to my crystal ball, I don't have a crystal ball like Chris, but here's my crystal ball, which will kind of lead into, this is my crystal ball, everybody.
Yes.
Okay. This is my 2022 crystal ball. And the reason I'm going there is I took a risk back in 1995, 1996 with this whole internet thing. Why would you want to do something and put yourself out there as a lawyer? What if you make a mistake, right? What if you post a blog post, which is what we were sharing back in the day, that's inaccurate, or it has a mistyped word or poor grammar in a sentence, which, by the way, I'm really good at making all of those mistakes. But I put myself out there, and it allowed us to take a local Southern California brand and turn it over the last 20, 25 years into a global brand. Same type of mindset with social media, especially live video, which is why I'm here today. You guys know I'm a big fan of live video. One of the first lawyers to ever put myself out there on live video on a platform called Spreecast back in the day. And within a week or two, found myself on shows with Katie Couric, Anderson Cooper, Peter Diamandis, Gary Vaynerchuk, and things just exploded. So I've never been accused of being the sharpest knife in the drawer. But what I realized is if you go about building your brand and adding value and answering questions and delivering your services and explaining your products through video and live video, and you do it in a human way. I'm not in my two-piece suit with my red tie. I'm getting ready for a run. This is how I roll. Be real, be strategically transparent. That's where you connect, and that's where you can build relationships. And in my world, have new clients reach out to you with their legal needs, or have other lawyers refer cases to you. Now, having said all that, as excited as I am about everything that I just mentioned, I am literally 100 times more excited about the next 2 words and the next 5 syllables. I'm thinking in my mind, I hope I got that right. Those 2 words are metaverse and blockchain. Okay, metaverse and blockchain. And what I'm talking about is what everyone just mentioned, but also taking things into the next step by using not only your laptop, your desktop, your phone, and an Oculus or other headset, but doing what was just discussed in a VR environment. For example, if you go over to spatial.io, if you go over to engagevr.io, you can stand on stage almost as though you're standing on a Tony Robbins type of stage. Beautiful graphics, many interactive tools and techniques as far as connecting with your audience. But guess what's behind you? That StreamYard video that you're creating and you're streaming live, that recorded video that you originally created on StreamYard, for example, is up behind you while you're on stage talking to your VR audience. There's something unique about virtual reality. You feel like you're in the room with each other. This 3D component, this intimacy, this ability to storytell and bring people up on stage and interact is unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life. I'll tell you right now, I'm more excited about this new technology, having been playing in the digital spaces now for over 2 decades, than anything else I've ever come across. And it's because of the ability to use the technology that we're using right now on Web 2, Web 3, but bring it into the metaverse, bring it into a VR environment to interact, build relationships, and actually give a more powerful, persuasive, storytelling themed presentation, unlike anything I've ever seen before. And so that's my prediction moving forward. You combine that with NFTs, tickets into the events, digital tickets into the events, where people use the NFTs to access the event links, the event passwords, and have access to tools and resources after the event is over, once they've enjoyed that metaverse and VR experience. So for me, it's embracing everything we've all been doing on the digital platforms traditionally, but taking it into the metaverse space. There's a reason why Meta spent $10 billion last year, in this space. And they're not the only company that's spending a lot of money. There's a reason why a lot of experts are predicting between $400 and $800 billion in commerce in 2024 and 2025. Okay, there's a reason why some of the business and marketing leaders on the planet are talking about this technology. It's similar to the first web browsers back in the early 90s. For those of us that were around doing business, we used to code to access the internet. And all of a sudden, Netscape came along and a couple of other browsers came along, and it gave us access to something called the World Wide Web. Fast forward to today, what we're seeing is, as easy as it is to click on a StreamYard or Zoom link, you can click into the metaverse and you can create an environment, whether it's one-on-one or 1 to 1,000. So I think taking platforms like StreamYard and incorporating them into a metaverse type of virtual experience, for me, that's gold. That's where I'm going to be. And that's my prediction for 2022 and moving forward thereafter.
That is amazing, Mitch. And I know I've gotten to hang out with you in a couple of the work rooms, and it is amazing, folks. And if you haven't gotten an Oculus Quest 2, I don't know what you're waiting for. They're easier to get than an Xbox Series X, and I think they're cheaper too. And I think it's a great investment in. It is, right, Mitch? Jump in early. Just like you jump. That's one thing I got to say about Mitch. You always jump in early, even if and you kind of like, it may not last, but it's those things that you learn from doing, right? You kind of, it's like the fundamentals of a lot of sports, right? It's that blocking and tackling, what you do applies in a lot of these platforms. And that's one thing that I admire so much about you. And I know Chris and I, we look at you as a mentor of someone that, because we've had you on both our shows.
It's been fun. I've loved it, Jim.
But one of the things you talk about, folks, if you don't realize this, Mitch Jackson is an accomplished attorney, but he is on the, I guess we'll call it the metaverse. Where are all the other professionals like Mitch, right? They keep making excuses. Mitch doesn't make excuses. Mitch does things.
Make a lot of mistakes too, Jim. All right, let's be real just for a second, because it's okay to make mistakes.
Yep.
You learn from your mistakes. Just don't make the same mistake twice, right?
Right.
And I'll tell everybody, if I hadn't taken a leap of faith and put myself out there 20 some years ago, I wouldn't have the brand I've got today. I wouldn't have the business or law firm I've got today. I wouldn't have the opportunities to meet people like you and to be on shows like this if I wasn't putting myself out there. It's these little baby steps behind the scenes that nobody ever sees that results in a more public type of end result, positive end result. So click into the metaverse, click into StreamYard. If you've ever used StreamYard before, play around with it, grab a friend, do a show together, a little private show. No one even knows that you're online, right? And play around with the tools and some of the bells and whistles. And look, this isn't rocket science. I think after a couple of hours, I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk the other night talking about blockchain and some of the things that I just mentioned. He goes, look, put in the 20 to 40 hours to learn this technology, and you'll be positioning yourself to maximize your chances for success in the future, however you define the term success. And I think by being an early user of these platforms, it allows you to do all of the above. It allows you to have a cup of coffee, fight on Trojans. We have a new football coach in town, and be on shows like this. And that's why I'm doing all the above. It keeps life fun. It keeps life interesting, and allows you to meet some really cool people from all over the world. So it's good to be on this morning, gentlemen.
Thanks, Mitch. Thanks for joining us, and Happy New Year to you, and hope you enjoy your run today.
All right, thanks.
And we are now going to bring on another powerhouse individual, our friend, the education disruptor, Dr. I. Addison Zhang. And folks, Tim and I could tell you, if you've watched the evolution of Dr. I, it's like a rocket ship. I mean, this is a lady, going back to what we talk about, she was going live from her laptop in her laundry room in South Korea, where she was teaching, to now she's running, I don't know, it's probably 6-7 figure business, helping people learn in ways that we all should embrace. So Dr. I, thank you so much for joining us.
You're too kind. Thank you so much. I'm a little bit sick, so my voice is just not very pleasant to listen to. But thank you so much for having me. Really, really honored to be here. Really honored. And so nice to see so many familiar faces, and very nice to be here. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
You and welcome.
Yeah, and so my prediction is so hard to follow up after Mitch, and I love everything that he said. And it reminds me of a quote that I always share with my students, which is from Albert Einstein. And I think he said something like this: if you have never made a mistake in your life, you have never tried anything new. So I love it, right? Like, I love making mistakes because at least we're trying something new. So I love that. So my prediction for 2022 is that I really see this combination between e-commerce and online coaching. And for some of you who have been following my journey, I recently actually launched my e-commerce brand. And I actually added lots of coaching component to the e-commerce brand. And so my product is a physical like planner, a yearly planner. So what I added is, I don't know how many of you guys use Community. Do you guys know this service called Community, which is kind of a text message service? And so like you can create a fake phone number for yourself and ask people to join this community that are created by you under this fake phone number. And so what I did for my planner is that, so everyone who purchased a copy of my planner, they will be receiving a daily text message reminder of positive affirmation from me or from this fake phone number. I just like, my team and I, we found really lots of great quotes and positive affirmations. And so we just scheduled everything using this service called Community. It is so nice. So I added that component. I also added a monthly like accountability session, like everyone join me in a Zoom room, and we're going to plan out for next quarter, next month, next year. So I really see this nice combination between e-commerce and kind of online coaching like that. So that is one prediction. My next prediction is, I think Chris mentioned this earlier, and because of Jim and because of you guys and Jim and Chris, and I was able to really try, have lots of fun with Amazon Live. So I predict that in the new year, And we are going to be able to do this on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on TikTok, on so many other channels. Not only we shop and watch people's live stream on Amazon Live, but actually also on TikTok Live, on Facebook Live, on LinkedIn Live. And I think this is going to be a lot more common than right now, because recently I had a conversation with one of my friends in China. You guys know that TikTok is so popular in China. So my friend told me that they no longer go to Amazon, the Chinese version of Amazon, to shop. Everyone is shopping directly from TikTok. And you can like send money, like a fulfillment center. I said, wow, that is really powerful. So I think moving forward, and we'll be able to do the same thing on TikTok for sure, but also probably on other social media channels. So those are my 2 predictions.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful. And it's funny you mentioned community, because my business coach, she uses it. I noticed that even Sean Cannell with his YouTube group uses it. And I think Chris and I are going to start using it for Dealcasters in the new year, because it's a great way to connect with people and to share things. And Marissa, had even mentioned in the comments, it's not annoying, right? Because it's a phone number, I can, like now when I get a text, it says, oh, I'm getting a text from Dr. I know I'll read it, as opposed to if it's just some 5-digit text message, I'm like, oh, somebody's trying to sell me something again. I definitely think community is something people should look into, because not everybody wants to do email marketing, right? Or wants to read their emails. So I think, I'm excited to see that. And I'm glad.
And just to add that, and then people have been so excited, but I do want to mention community is only available for people who are in the US and in Canada, because I do have a global community, which makes it hard. So what I do is that I actually found another place that allows you to send international text message. But I really love community. Yeah. So if you have many people in the US and in Canada, I think community is perfect.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thank you, Dr. I, and we're so glad to see you. And now we're going to bring on another e-commerce powerhouse, the Shopify queen herself, Veronica Jean.
Hello.
Hello,
I'm so
Veronica
happy to be
Jean.
back here again. You surprised me. I was listening and writing down all the fabulous information that everybody's giving. And so what can I add? It's just like, okay, she already said that, and he said that, and oh, bloody hell. So anyway, so my prediction is for 2022 is things you have to do. And e-commerce, the general population that have an e-commerce store do not do enough lives. They do not do videos. I want to stay behind the scene. I don't want to be noticed. And the way to grow your business in 2023 will be to be personal, to be in front, and to be consistent. And one of the big things is how to get your customers to get to know you is to be in front of them with a live or even a recorded video. It doesn't have to be live, right? With a recorded video where they fall in love with you. Because we're competing with, with all these big platforms, Amazon and everywhere else. So they're not going to buy from you unless they actually love you and your story. As I think somebody said, Chad said, right? Stories are huge. People buy into stories. And if you have a fabulous story, that's what they fall in love with. Then they won't go to Amazon and they will be talking about you. And then I love the virtual thing, but that's way too advanced for e-commerce. I mean, these people are seriously, and even the big brands, I went shopping on Target. I needed something. Oh, I needed a gift card, right? So I went shopping on Target. It is the most antiquated e-commerce platform or e-commerce shop you've ever been on. I'll never go back again. I mean, they're such a huge brand. So that's what I mean. E-commerce is so new that people are still scrambling to catch up. And I also think that live software have to, and some of them are already catching up, being connected to Shopify. Obviously, I know Shopify. And that's one of the things, is to make it as easy as possible for people to connect their videos to a shopping platform where they can shop. And talking about Amazon, you have to be on several, it's omni-channel, right? You have to be everywhere. If you're not everywhere, wherever your customer pops up, because they are everywhere. They're on TikTok, on Amazon, they're on maybe Facebook and Instagram. So you really literally have to pop up and be in front of them, because, hey, the other guy will be in front of them. And when you're not there, they're not going to buy from you. They, you know, people just buy because they feel like buying something at that instant. And another prediction is, and I love Netscape. I haven't heard Netscape in such a long time. Oh my Lord, I'm a Microsoft certified systems engineer in my past, and I did NT4. So I gave it up as a bad idea and went into marketing. But anyway, emails. Email is not dead. Email is a super duper way to connect with your customers again and again and again. And automation, right? Just put it on, and so that it connects to your customers and it upsells and cross sells. So yeah, I mean, e-commerce is so huge. You just, so many things you have to do. Just start with one thing and then add another thing. Do not do it all at the same time. It's just too much, right? And then everybody goes, oh my Lord, I've got to do all this stuff. Okay, now I'm doing nothing. It's just doing it slowly, one thing at a time. And then, you know, schmoozing with people on Amazon. I can never do the pointing.
It's the opposite direction.
That's right. Oh, that's
there you
right.
go.
That's right.
That's right.
You got it. You got it.
Do the connection with influencers on Amazon. If you can't be online, you know, create those connections to, and you have to be online. You have to, otherwise you just have a brochure if you're not in front of your customers. And yeah, if you really want to succeed in 2022, 2023, you have to pivot as an e-commerce store. And as everybody's business is the same, right?
Yep. And you've got a couple, or you've got a new book coming out that's going to help people, I think, with that as well, don't you?
Yes,
I wasn't paid to say that, folks. I'm just letting you know.
No, he wasn't. So I did come out with Shopify Made Easy in 2020, I think. And then 2021, I put out the e-commerce print, but it was still 2021. So now I've got my new books are out, 2022, Shopify Made Easy, and it's all the new stuff happening on Shopify. Thanks to COVID, Shopify has grown so much and so fast and added so many things that people can't keep up. So that's good for me. And yeah, and I'm coming. Oh yes, the new book is Optimizing Shopify.
Awesome.
Thank you for the plug.
And it'll be available on Amazon. So maybe
Yes.
Chris and I will be talking about the book on our Dealcaster show.
Fabulous, baby, fabulous.
There you go. Well, thanks again, Veronica. And so now we're going to bring on he's a Hacks and Hobbies host, but he is a home studio master. I know Troy, who's in the green room, he was on a show with me when Tim wasn't available. This guy will just like knock your socks off when it comes to things you can do with your studio. But Junaid, it's so good to see you, my friend. Wishing you soon a very happy new year. Great to have you here today.
Jim, Tim, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm super excited. All the amazing people that get to share their predictions. I'm feeling like, wow, what do I've got to share? I mean, there's so many valuable things, you know, Mitch shared and Marissa and Veronica, as well as Dr. AI. It's just an amazing time to be here. And, you know, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you for being here, Junaid.
Yeah.
So look at your setup. Like you are like the tech god. I mean, what can you share? What do you want to share with us today? What is your prediction or predictions for 2022?
Man, the prediction for 2022 is there are more people jumping online. There's more people getting in live stream, and we've seen that already, especially with Amazon jumping in the live stream game just a year ago, right? They didn't have any standing in that place at all. They jumped in, and I'm looking at some of these metrics here. From 2019, there was only 3.6 million live streamers. In 2020, that number doubled to 6.9 million. And 2021, it went up to 9 million. Sorry, 6.9 to then 9 million. And this is only on Twitch platform. So these guys are saying, hey, it's doubling every year, and especially now that everybody's at home, everybody wants to stream, everybody wants to talk about their thing. Veronica is just saying you got to be in front of people for people to know what you're selling, to people to know, like, and trust you, so they can, learn more about what services and products you're offering. So where I'm sitting right in the middle of those two things is that, hey guys, you want to show up online, let me help you set up your studio. And I loved what Chris was doing earlier, drawing those hearts. I was like, hey, I gotta do some of that too. And it was really cool that I learned that from somebody, and like, hey, how did I do it? So it's just amazing how many different things you can do with your system, with what you have already, right? We've been using iPads, we've been using desktop, we've been using cameras for the past decade, and put it all together, and you've got a really engaging platform to teach people, to show people what you're about. You're doing that. I loved how Chris had the crystal ball up there, that pattern interrupt. So my prediction is there's more and more people going to be coming online, and I'm here to help them figure out the software, figure out the hardware, figure out all the different things they need to worry about. Not even worry about, because Chris and Jim, you guys on Dealcasters are talking about live streaming technology, live streaming hardware. There's so many variables, isn't that? Right? It took me a whole 2 years to get to this level, right? It's continually upgrading. I'm continually adding stuff to my ceiling. I'm continually adding stuff to my desk. It's just mind-blowing what's possible and what people can do with the little things that they have.
Yeah, and Junaid, I think you hit on a key point, right? If you're listening right now and you're like, you see that Junaid and Chris are writing on their screen, and you're like, oh my gosh, how do they do that? Well, Junaid showed me and Chris, and so I'm not doing it today, but I've also learned to do it. You got to take things a step at a time. I think I was listening to a show recently, and they talked about, like, the tripod is audio, video, and then what was the third? I think it was I can't remember the third leg of the tripod, but those are three things you need to focus on when you're doing your show. But you can start out with your iPhone, right, or your Android phone. I don't want to offend the Android people.
Smartphone.
Is it lighting? Is lighting the third?
Lighting
is the
lighting
third one,
was
yeah.
That's
Okay.
it, Chris. Thank you, Chris. And but start with those things and improve them, incrementally, right? Don't feel like you got to go spend $10,000-$20,000 to have this high-end show, and then all of a sudden, like, nobody's there, and you're like, well, nobody's watching my show. I just spent all this money. Those are the things that, you got to take your time, take it a step at a time. I know Tim and I have both done that. I mean, the camera I'm using now, I just got this 3 months ago. I've been using a webcam for over 3 years before I finally went to a real camera, so to speak. So I love the predictions and the advice, Junaid. You're always spot on. And I know. But Tim's the one that introduced you to all of us.
That's right.
Tim
is the one who introduced you, and
Junaid guy?
And one thing that you mentioned, Jim, right? You got to take one step at a time. And yes, you can definitely go out and buy a ton of gear, right? Absolutely, you can go buy gear. But the one example I love to give is you can go out and buy $250, ultra marathon shoes, but you can't run the marathon tomorrow. Because you gotta put in the reps. You gotta put in the reps, and I think Mitch mentioned that, and even Chris mentioned that you got to put in the reps, no matter what it is. Get started now, so you get better at talking to the camera. So you get better at talking to yourself. If there's nobody watching the live stream, that's okay, because guess what? You're doing the reps. When you're out running by yourself, to prepare for that.
Look into the camera.
Look at the camera. When you prepare for that beautiful marathon, you're running by yourself. You're putting in the reps by yourself. You got to get better than yourself, what you were yesterday. And that's what we're doing as we put in those reps. Thanks so much, guys, for the opportunity. And to help people, I'm launching a course next month, I think in February, called Home Studio Mastery. And there's a waitlist page set up on homestudiomastery.com/waitlist if anybody's interested. And I'll be happy to help any way I can.
Thanks, Junaid. And yeah, definitely check that out, because Junaid will help you bring your studio to whatever level it is you want it to go to, but definitely give you those steps to get there. So Junaid, thanks so much. Great to see you
guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And now we're going to have my friend Amanda May Gray. She has the Yes You May podcast. She's a Toastmaster. She's a confidence creator. Amanda, great to see you.
Thank you for having me. Nice to be here in such good company. I was impressed with all your guests. I'm like, oh, I feel very low man on this totem pole.
No.
Okay.
Everybody's great. We're excited to have everybody here.
Well, thank you for having me. Predictions, right? Is that what we're talking about? Exactly. I think you are going to see a lot of people come into this live stream space that are doing all the other things. So some of your big kinpins on YouTube, a lot of your podcasters, I think they are going to find live streaming so much easier. That's why I live stream, because I was creating videos on YouTube, and the post-production, if you don't know, post-production is where all your time goes. And I personally don't love it. I have ADHD. I like wham, bam, done. So finding this live streaming platform that you introduced me to, Jim, makes it so much faster to create content. So I think you're going to see a lot of YouTubers that are used to making structured videos come over here because it's easy, quite frankly. And that fun factor of being able to talk to your people who are watching live is going to come into play. And I think that a lot of podcasters who only do audio are going to start coming into the video space as well. That's what I think is the big differentiator. Even Spotify is now jumping into the video podcast space. It's a small group of us doing it right now, but I think more and more people are going to find programs like StreamYard versus recording on Zoom that is not as pretty, doesn't have as many features, and utilize all these different things to really level themselves up. But on that note, I think you're also going to see a lot of people go from a basic, everybody can turn on your camera, to wanting to upgrade themselves and look more professional. I'm already getting people reaching out and asking me, like, how do I look more professional? How do I feel more confident on the camera? How do I come across better? And so I think we're going to start to see maybe more simplistic going-ons behind you, but more elevated, because this is your look, this is your brand. And even though you can just turn it on anywhere, should you? Maybe, maybe not. And then on top of that, I think people are going to start to value the professionals, like everybody that's been on here, that's been doing it forever, and look to them to be hosting those hybrid events, to be elevating those experiences so that they are at another level and not as kind of thrown together. That's what I think. That's what I think is happening. We're going to level up in the professionalism across the whole board. That's it.
I love those predictions, Amanda. It's great to see you, by the way.
You as well. Thank you for
And
having me.
yes, I love all of those. And next we have Troy Sandage. I'm not sure where Jim Fuse went, but Troy, hello all the way down there at the bottom of the screen. It's great to see you.
What's up, fam? How are y'all doing today? I guess Jim left me. It's okay. We'll catch up later.
Yeah. So Troy, how are you? And what's your prediction for 2022?
So my prediction is very simple. It's this. People want access. It's a passport for those who can't see it. You want to get into somewhere, you need access. And if people want to grow, they have to therefore change. If you don't change, you'll never grow. And I think the biggest thing is that people are going to realize they're going to go back to the basics. I think that's been kind of emphasized throughout when you're going from, Facebook shutting down. Oh my goodness, I didn't invest in email marketing. It doesn't matter what content you create. If people can't find it or know you're doing it, guess what? It doesn't matter. They can't see it. You don't exist. So email marketing is going to make a comeback. I think people are kind of burnt out from Facebook communities. I'm not saying they're not still relevant. I'm saying people want more. So maybe it is living on email. Maybe it is newsletter. Maybe it's Substack. Maybe it is Twitter just launched their own community thing, which I'm double downing on as well. And so I think a combination of people embracing change, because without change, you can't grow. You can't get access through the passport. And I think finding that singular focus where you can really maximize it. You can't be everywhere at once. You just can't. And I think if you can find one primary and one secondary going in 2022 would be better. My last thought would be social audio is not going anywhere. I mean, you think live streaming is great and right to the point. Imagine not having to do your makeup, not having to work with your lighting, not have to work on anything else. You can probably get your steps in while you're on your phone doing it, and you're just having an authentic party line conversation. I think social audio is going to double down and be even the more, because through social audio, for people like me, diverse people in business from different areas and walks of life, minorities, things like that, they only have to hear your voice. There is no gatekeeping. The titles, your color of your skin, your location are irrelevant. All they need to hear is your voice, and you get to tell people who you are, what your business is, how you can make an impact, how you can help people, and that can close deals much more faster. That means you can connect with people much more efficiently and maximize your time. So I definitely think social audio is going to make an even bigger stride. And for those who have resistance, you're just having a phone call with friends, and you're going to make more friends. And I tell them I'll be done.
Yeah.
Let's say you have 50 sales calls within a week. But instead, you have one social audio room where all 50 of those people in there, you get to answer all their questions at the same time, qualify them and disqualify them, move them down the chain, and keep it moving within 1 hour. How will that value to you? Time is the most expensive commodity that you have. If you don't have it, you want to maximize it out. So I definitely social audio is a big way to move forward.
That's awesome, Troy. So what would you say is your number one priority in 2022?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think setting boundaries and saying no more. We don't do enough setting boundaries. For someone like me who's an ENFP, who's an empath, who wants to give an impact, I want to help people. But if I can't help myself first, I can't help people at my best. So saying no more and setting clear, distinctive boundaries of how I need people to introduce me into the room. Check how many people give you referrals and businesses and things like that. Are they saying back in the day, oh, Troy's at Find Troy? I'm like, that's my username. That's not what I do. That doesn't help me make money. That doesn't tell anything about me. So we got to move that out of the way. The biggest thing is instruct people on what to do and how to introduce you into rooms, how to refer you. What are you looking for? We're not mind readers. We don't know what titles you changed on your LinkedIn, what you've been doing on your content. We're not going to keep tapping 24/7. So you got to let us know. And don't be mad at us if the last thing we reference about you was from pre-pandemic. You might have changed. A lot of us have changed a lot since then. It felt like 2 years was like in a DBZ time echo chamber. You come out 10 years later, 10 years wider, 10 years older. And so just to think about it is just understanding how you refer people and how you want people to see you and position yourself accordingly.
Amen.
Wow.
I love that, Troy. I love that whole idea of boundaries. That's certainly something that I'm going to focus on in 22 as well. So I'm curious for everyone else who is here, let's really quick go around and just let's say so Jim, what is your number one priority for 2022?
Power that doesn't go out.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
That was crazy. Because I'm in the basement. It was literally everything was like it went out and came back on like 4 times, and then of course the internet has to come back, even though. So yeah. But that's live streaming, people. That's what happens sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's your number one priority is keeping the power on.
That's right.
I love it. I love it. My number one priority is writing a book. I'm going to create a book out of the show, showing up perspectives on cancer, the stories through that, and the other ways that we can make more impact with that show. What about you, Marissa?
My number one priority is to be present whatever that is, whether it is on a live stream with my friends and family, in a conversation locally here, in a business meeting, and try not to get too distracted with all the things, because it's only going to get more with the metaverse and all the platforms coming up and the new changes. So I think that's my goal every day, and especially more in 2022.
I love that. I love that. What about you, Chris Stone?
Yeah, I guess my priority is to just encourage people to do this more, and it's not just about the tech and the gear, and we're talking about all this stuff all the time, and that's the show that Jim and I do is really about that. But like this show that we're on right here is, if you're going to use one of the many words in the word cluster of the Tim and Jim show, one is community. And just look at all these fantastic people on the screen. I did not know any of them. And over the course of the past year, I got to know great people like Troy Sandage. I got to know great people. I'm for the first time, I'm meeting Veronica Jeans live here on the Tim and Jim show. But I just love her energy, and we got to figure out, use it for networking too. Use it to meet people. This is another way for you to get the reps in. And so don't just, I'm not just going to encourage people like, here's the mic you should get and it's affordable and all of that kind of stuff. It's like anyone who's listening, anyone that's watching, find somebody else that can help lift you up and help get you to a point where you can get on the screen and continue to do what you want to do.
I love that.
Yes.
And we do all appreciate you so much for being here and being part of this community. All of you here that have joined us as guests on the show today and for all the shows, and who are here in the comments. What about you, Veronica Jeans? What's your number one priority for 2022?
Write more books. and be write more books and go cruising. How's that?
Ooh.
So I'm on a boat, okay, if you haven't noticed, on a cruise, on a yacht, and we are going cruising, if not end of next year, then beginning of 2023, but we're getting it ready. And I think 2022 should be for everybody. Do it and start something. Don't look back and say, I should have, I could have, and be personal, right? Connect with people. I don't care if you have an e-commerce store with 1,000 customers. Connect with them on a personal level. Do one a week if you don't have time. It'll pay off.
Did she just say she was live from a yacht?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Did that just happen?
If we didn't notice.
Okay,
What?
yeah.
I mean, I have no words.
Yes. I've been living on my yacht for 10 years now. It was a short-term thing,
Fantastic.
but I love it. And so for 8 years, 9 years, I lived for free because I did all the marketing for the marina. So no
Wow.
property taxes, no internet, no water, got everything on the house.
You are literally living the dream.
Right?
That
Yes,
is
living the
awesome.
dream.
We have so much to learn from her.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an accident, but yeah, it has been a fabulous experience.
Yes.
And it's going to get better. So I will see you from the Bahamas by end of next year on my lives.
Nice.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. That's going to be so good.
Wow.
What about
Is
you,
that an
Amanda?
in-person event? Can we join
Right.
you on the yacht?
Right?
Yes.
Right?
You got room for us?
Oh
And
yeah.
bring your own food.
Bring your own
Yes.
food. Yep.
What about you, Amanda? What's your number one priority in 2022?
Well, I mean, I think it just switched. I need to get on a boat at some time. That's
Right?
I mean, maybe that's a goal. Get on a boat, sometime in 2022, just in general. I mean, it could be a blow up kayak. It doesn't matter. Just get on a boat and I'll feel more fulfilled.
Yes, blow
Like
up
I can
kayak.
keep up with Veronica here.
There you go. Live streaming from a blow up kayak in the middle of the Chattahoochee.
Yes, with my dog. You know what? If we can make this work, we will make this work. On a boat. That's wrong arrow, though. Okay.
On a boat.
My focus for 2022, I think, will just be to help people and creating content that will help people. That's what I've been kind of working on, and then figuring out how to turn that into a profit for myself. So that's my goal, is helping people continually and figuring out how that is going to benefit myself in the long run, and creating a business out of this that is not just a little side fun gig, but a real business, because it's there.
Yeah.
And I just have to put all my puzzle pieces together to figure it out.
I love it. I love it. Go, Amanda. Go, Amanda.
On my boat.
Yes, on your boat.
You guys are going to laugh when I actually live stream from an inflatable kayak with my dog in the river.
That would be amazing.
We
That would be
believe you.
amazing.
We can't
Yes.
wait to see it.
It'll
We can't
happen.
wait. Yes. And Junaid, what is your number one priority for 2022?
Man, so number one, thank you so much for inviting me to be on the show. I was like, what am I doing this week? Everybody's off. But then Jim sends me a message like, dude, we're doing this predictions thing. You want to come on? I'm like, yes, please. Give me people. I've been driving 3,000 miles last 7 days. I've drove to and back from Texas in the past week.
Wow.
But anyways, my goal for 2022 is to launch my course that I've been working on for the past year and a half. I was like, I want to do this.
Do it.
So finally get it out there. And Chris, you mentioned something about goat for Mitch Jackson, and we've got a goat on the boat right here with Veronica Jackson. Veronica Jeans. Check it out, right? Goat on the boat.
Go on the boat.
That could be a book
Live
title
from
right
the
there.
boat. Live from the
Totally.
boat.
Right? Yeah.
That could be
It's your
a
new
show.
show, Veronica.
So
I don't know if the goat likes the boat because where's the grass for it to eat? I don't know. It's gotta eat.
Tim suggested the name of our new show should be, what was it again? I keep forgetting.
Oh gosh,
The
I don't even
title.
remember off the
It's
top of my head.
something. Yes.
I think goat on a boat just
Any-
erased
anything-
everyone's long-term memory.
Yeah, and I think you need to also
Goat
get a
on a
real
boat.
goat.
Yes.
Yes. That'd be
The
amazing.
possibilities
Oh,
are
no.
A
endless.
miniature one.
I predict
goat.
Veronica buys a goat this year.
No. It had something to do with the boat and e-commerce. I do know that. So I might just know. Oh yes.
You do it.
Anything in e-commerce that floats your boat.
With a goat. You
I
got to
thought,
keep the
I
goat.
thought it
I
was
don't know.
cute, right? I thought it was cute. Anyway.
So that's my goal for 2022. Help as many people as I can setting up their home studios, and I just love helping. And yeah, man, super excited for all the accolades and the milestones that we make. And it takes time, so people don't. What's that word? Don't be sad that you're not at the next level, because you can't compare a baby dancing with a teenager dancing, right? Different levels of experiences. So put in your reps, get it going. And you know how they say a rising tide raises all boats. Well, guess what, guys? You got to get the boat in the water,
Yes, exactly.
because otherwise it won't rise your boat, right? If your boat is sitting in your driveway,
I'm here for all the metaphors. Let's go.
I'm gonna say, what do you got? Another boat
We need a whole
analogy?
book.
We need a
Let's
party
go.
boat, is what it sounds like. We need a
Yes.
party boat community.
We need a
boat.
Dealcaster's
Right.
boat.
I love it.
Yes.
Community boat. Yes.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I think yesterday we saw first someone was actually selling a Hyundai on Amazon Live.
You
Wow.
kidding?
So no, I'm not kidding. And apparently you get a commission off that. So maybe boats is
Whoa.
next, right, Chris? We'll
Whoa.
Boats are a high ticket item.
I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah,
sell
you
rockets.
can't get them right now. They are selling like hotcakes. You can't find boats to buy.
And also,
Wow.
Stefan Kaplan said in the comments that he went hiking with goats last year. So there's that
I'm
also.
in.
And there's also
Where was
goat
that?
yoga. Don't forget goat yoga.
Goat yoga, yes.
And don't forget Goat Simulator that you can play on Xbox and other platforms. It's so much
Show's
fun.
You
gone
can
to
be
the
a
goat.
goat.
You can be a goat, and yeah.
Yeah, so
Let us know in the
sitting
comments
there
what
going,
connection
taking it
to goats do you have?
I think we've gone. We're going down a goat.
Goated
trail or
out.
something.
Quickly.
Goated
Yeah.
out.
So
But-
Troy
Thanks
so
hasn't
much.
told us what he wants to do.
Yes, Troy.
Yes. Don't forget
Well, I
Troy.
guess mine would be just get my book out, strategize up next month. So start 2022 year off strong. So 2.5 years of work. I'm that person that said I'd never write one. And then here we are.
Got to write a
So,
book. It's the most exciting
hey, let's
thing.
go.
Yes,
It
absolutely.
is definitely one of the hardest things in the universe, but like it's the most thrilling thing once you're like done and holding it in your hand. You're like, oh my God, I did something. So it's really cool.
And the
Yes.
best thing is if it actually sells.
I wrote the,
is
you know, I
seriously
never
the
got,
best
I didn't think
feeling.
I'd get that far. I just
mean-
wanted the task done. If
I
it's just
know.
for me and it's sitting on my shelf, I'm like, great. But hey, maybe I'll come to Deals Casters and they can buy it on
You
Amazon.
got to get it sold. And that little ding 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 from Amazon is like, yeah, sold another book.
Troy, are you self-publishing or are you working
Mhm.
with a company?
Self-publishing, yep.
Yeah. Come and
Troy,
ask me.
congrats
I know-
on all
I
the
know
success.
about it.
Everybody at the same time, please.
Yes.
Troy, congrats on all the success on your
Yes.
podcast for I Digress, man, and being in such a major podcast network. And man, it's awesome to see that success for you. And there's not a lot of people that can say that they have a podcast that's doing what yours is doing. It's a long
Amen.
game, and you deserve all of that, man.
Appreciate it.
Congrats.
It's hard. I wanted to quit.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's not
But we
easy.
got there.
It really isn't.
I think business in general is hard because you have your high days and your low days and your days what the hell. Well, sort of. I won't say this is a family friendly show. They are, and it's if you're in business by yourself, the best feeling is to be in business by yourself. Doesn't matter how hard it is. I can count the days that I've worked for a company on my one hand in America. Yeah, I didn't last.
Yeah.
I lasted 2 hours, my last job, 2 hours. And I walked out and I said, this is not for me. I need to be my own boss. So that's the best feeling, And I think the harder you work, sorry, I'm taking over here, but the harder you work, the luckier you get. That is from Gary Player, the golf, South African golf pro.
Yeah.
The harder you work, the luckier you get. Okay, I'll shut up.
Awesome. That's great advice. I mean, definitely. So, Tim, any
Yes.
final thoughts on our 2022 prediction show?
Oh, just thank you all. Thank you all so much for your predictions. Thank you all for showing up today and when you joined us on the show previously and when you show up in the comments. And we just appreciate you all so much. So a big, gigantic thank you from the woods here in Pennsylvania to all of you.
Yes, thanks everyone.
Oh,
And,
wait, hey, sorry. We didn't do the Tim.
well, we're gonna do something a little different when we go out. We're going to
Uh-oh.
we're gonna do the StreamYard video is gonna take.
Oh,
us
no.
out today 'cause we didn't do
No.
our StreamYard video.
Well,
No.
okay. So this
Get
is
out
the,
the plan.
the pre-video
Right
Tim.
video. So we'll see you all next week at
Oh, look,
11
we got
a.m.
improv Timming
Got
going
it.
on down here.
We
There's
got it.
improv Timming.
I can't help myself.
And
too much
everybody
spirit.
has a great New Year's. Stay safe.
You too.
Have fun, and we'll see you guys next year.
Yeah.